Hi guys! Today we're going to discuss Yuri on Ice and cosplay. So if you're anything like me, you've seen episodes 1 and 2 of Yuri on Ice at least 3 times a piece. And you've decided who you were going to cosplay within like 30 seconds. And who can blame you? I mean, so far the animation is spectacular, the characters are believable and multi-dimensional, there's a huge heaping of fan service, and it seems more accurate to physics and reality than certain other sports anime. I'm looking at you, Haikyuu. And I mean, there's Victor. We're all gay for Victor. And because it's a show about figure skating and rinks are open all year round, I anticipate quite a few people will be looking to get their moves on for their Yuri on Ice cosplays. And that's fantastic. I am absolutely one of those people. Yuri on Ice is what rekindled my desire to lace up my skates for the first time in 5 years. It's ridiculous. And like Princess Tutu cosplays, or most cosplays involving specialized sports, if you're not experienced, there are just a few posing guidelines and safety precautions you should keep in mind for the most accurate and the best looking results. So why are you telling us this? Are you a skater or something? I have a pretty extensive personal history with figure skating. My sister was competitive for a bit over 11 years in both ladies singles and solo ice dance, and my mom was her coach. So even though I wasn't actively doing it myself past the age of about 10, I was in a household that was suffused with skating all the time. I just wanted to compile as much pertinent information as I could think of into sort of a condensed format, since so much of the skating related information out there is old and outdated and so unpleasant to watch. Not, mind you, that I expect this is much more pleasant, but at least it's colorful. I've got my red and my blue. Now that that's out of the way, I want to start talking about clothing and wigs. If you're cosplaying the main characters in their activewear, that's great. They're just wearing very practical, standard activewear that you can get at like Old Navy. However, if you're gonna gender bend the characters, which I am absolutely planning to do since I have a serious vendetta against pants, there are just a couple things you should keep in mind. But, Surya, women wear pants too. Why should a gender bent costume be any different? Female skaters absolutely wear leggings to practice in, which is increasingly common after the ban on like jumpsuits and pants in competition was banned in, I believe, 2006. However, they do tend to be a little bit tighter than men's and look a little bit more streamlined, so keep that in mind. There are still many female figure skaters who prefer to practice in tights and a skirt, and dresses are still the norm for most competitions. Skating practice skirts have an elastic waistband, an attached velvet panty, and a chiffon or velvet skirt, and it's usually cut as a circle skirt. It's longer in the front and tapers up to a micro mini length on the sides. These can be purchased quite easily or even made yourself. The most popular, almost universal brand of skating tights is Mondor, and they come in 3 colors: tan, tanner, and tannist. I don't think they actually match the skin color of anyone on Earth, which makes them pretty recognizable and characteristic of women's figure skating. They're super thick and opaque and come in 2 main styles: footed, which goes inside your boot, and over the boot, which covers your entire boot. Now, footed tights are the most common and elegant solution, but over-the-boot tights can be fantastic for Yuri cosplayers. They're great for those of you that are using rental skates or whose skates have seen better days, and they can also be great for shorter cosplayers because they provide an unbroken line from the hip to the end of your boot, and that can make your legs look quite a bit longer. If you're planning to make any of the competition outfits, you are far braver than I. Just keep in mind that the main fabrics used are spandex, lycra, stretch velvet, power mesh, silk chiffon, and they are usually covered in Swarovski, or if you're on a little bit more of a budget, Preciosa crystals. As far as wigs go, if you do plan on shooting any actual skating scenes, please remember to sew wig combs into your wig. skating can generate quite the breeze, and having your wig fly off your head would not only be extremely irritating, it would be a hazard to other skaters. So just remember to sew those wig combs in. Now, let's go over a very brief anatomy of a figure skate. Figure skates have a very specific anatomy that allows the figure skater maximum control and flexibility on the ice. They lace up through eyelets until your ankle and then switch to hooks. It's up to you how tight you want to lace them, but don't cut your circulation off. You need to retain some flexibility. When you look at a figure skate from the side, you can see the spiky toe pick in the front, a very slight curve under the ball of the foot called the rocker, which is the sweet spot you spin on, and the rest of the blade extending beyond the heel of the boot. When you look directly at the bottom of the blade, you'll see two edges and a slight hollow down the center. Every single move in skating is based on a foundation of these two edges. For example, the 6 basic jumps are all landed in precisely the same way and are differentiated, among other things, by which edge takeoff occurs on. Now that we've covered the bones of the figure skate, let's talk about the difference between men's and women's figure skates. This section will hopefully be helpful for anyone who's looking to purchase figure skates for their Yuri on Ice cosplays, or just because Yuri inspired them to learn how to skate. The very short answer is that men's skates are black and women's skates are white. Are color conventions the only difference? The answer is no. Women's skates do actually come in other colors, but white is standard and colored skates are much more expensive. Many women do use tan skates for practicing in, however, as they show scuffs and dirt much less easily. Men's skates almost always come in black and are formed on a wider last to accommodate wider feet. They come in less styles and less colors as they are in less demand. One male champion famously wore custom-dyed women's skates because he liked the way they fit. Now, ice dance skates are different from normal figure skates. They're cut lower in the back for maximum flexibility since ice dancers don't need the support as they don't do jumps. It all comes down to what you are most comfortable with. And that brings us to the final thing I want to cover, which is specifically for those of you that are inspired to try out some skating or those of you that want to do a shoot that involves actual figure skating. I want to preface this by saying please do not try jumps unless you have had lessons under a professional coach. Falling on ice can be super dangerous and lead to very expensive hospital bills if you make a single mistake. My sister once slid out of a sit spin, not even a jump, split her chin open, and had to go to the hospital for stitches. Not fun. You can also be a danger to those around you if you're trying things that are too advanced for you. Collisions can be catastrophic when there are sharp blades involved. So please use common sense and be careful when you're on the ice. But what can I do to make my movements look interesting? I don't just want to skate in circles around the rink the whole time. I'm glad you asked because there are so many things that are safe, easier for beginners to manage, and still look elegant on the ice. First of all, focus on pristine technique and making your form look graceful, even when you're just stroking around the ice. Keep your chin lifted, shoulders back, arms supported from the shoulder and your back. You want to use your shoulder blades to keep your arm up like in ballet, and keep your core engaged. Also keep your knees slightly bent, and that'll help you keep your balance. The better your form is, the more professional you'll look, even if this is your 5th time on the ice ever. Arms are very important for skating for expression as well as efficiency. In fact, think about the beginning of Victor's program in episode 1. He's practically stationary and the choreography starts with his head and his arms. If you're comfortable with just stroking around the ice and you look fantastic, try adding crossovers and 3 turns to the mix. Forward crossovers, backward crossovers, and 3 turns are very essential skills in skating, and if you do them with the same attention to posture and form, you can get some very elegant results. Please note that most rinks will outlaw spirals and camel spins unless it's during a freestyle session, so please keep that in mind. It may be tempting, but you don't want to hit another skater in the face, and you really don't want to get in trouble and get kicked out of the rink. The number one thing you should keep in mind is that doing basic things with beautiful form and technique will always look better than trying things that are too advanced for you and looking sloppy, and they are also a great foundation on which to actually build those more advanced skills. I think that's it. I probably added way more detail than anyone was interested in, but hopefully it's helpful to somebody. I am such a huge fan of the show for reasons that would take another 6 videos to cover, so I'm super excited to see more cosplays come out. Please let me know if this video was helpful to you at all, and please leave any questions, comments, or links to your cosplays in the comments down below or DM me on Instagram. Thank you for watching, and happy skating!